Well, Yorkshire's Jack Leaning and Andrew Gale were back at the crease for day 3. Leaning, who was in good form, edged the first 4 of the morning off Siddle to move to 41. But in the next over, Fletcher struck clean bowling Leaning for that 41, and Yorkshire were 83 for the loss of 3 wickets. Now, Johnny Bairstow arrived at the crease and clipped Fletcher off his hip to fine leg for 4. Gale also edged Siddle to the boundary, but next ball he perished, caught well by Patel in the slips off Siddle for 29. The score then, Yorkshire in a bit of trouble, 95 for 4. This brought Aaron Finch to face fellow Australian Peter Siddle. The two are great friends. Soon into the innings he drove Siddle to the boundary for 4. Andre Adams, the veteran New Zealander, was introduced into the attack, and he accounted for Bairstow, caught at mid-wicket by Siddle for 18, 116 for 5. Finch was starting to get into the groove, and he hit Shazad for 2 boundaries. Then another wicket. Rashid, caught by Vessels in the first slip at the second attempt, he'd gone for 3, and Yorkshire 6 down for 128. Bresnam got his iron with a 4 off Shazad to take Yorkshire to that 143 for 6. Finch and Bresnam were trying to mount a Yorkshire recovery. Bresnam struck Adams superbly through the covers of 4 to get the board ticking over again, and Finch also flicked a Shazad delivery to the boundary down to fine leg. Spin was introduced in the form of Samit Patel, and Bresnam blasted through the covers of 4, and the Finch-Bresnam partnership went to 50. Usual runs this as Yorkshire hit back after earlier trials and tribulations. The partnership unbeaten on 55. Yorkshire at lunch 183 for 6, just 22 behind. Finch 36 and Bresnam 25. At the start of the afternoon session, Bresnam was seen off by Siddle. Rich Pyra joined Finch, and he got underway by easing the ball to the boundary for 4. He doubled his total with a streaky 4 off Shazad later on in the over. Pyra, with 3 runs to the offside, then brought up the 200 and a batting bonus point. He and Finch continued to play well as Yorkshire passed the 205 made by Notts in the first innings. But then a breakthrough. A ball which turned sharply from Patel, and Finch was bowled for 45 with the score on 220. Newman Patterson got underway with an inside edge of 4 off Siddle down to third man, but Rich Pyra was looking the most composed of all the batsmen. After finding the boundary irregularity, he was on 45 when he swept Patel to backward square and was caught by Siddle. Soon afterwards, Patterson was LBW as Yorkshire bowled out for 247. A small lead, but nevertheless useful, just 42. Well, when Notts returned to the crease, both Hales and Jakes opened up with 4s. And Brooks 40'd claimed Hales caught behind, but the decision was turned down. Moments later, though, Hales shouldered arms and he was out LBW to Bresnam for 8, Notts 16 for 1. Phil Jakes, the ex-Yorkshire player, of course, got Bresnam away for 3 runs down to third man. But just before tea, he was out, again for 20, caught behind off Patterson. At tea then, Notts 30 for 2, Lummis 2, Taylor without scoring, and still 12 runs in deficit. The final session began with dark clouds threatening, and the batting duo of Taylor and Lum fended off the pace before spin was introduced in the form of Rashid and Finch. Lum went big with a huge 6 to put Notts into the lead. There was then a weather interruption of an hour before better conditions arrived and a resumption at 6 o'clock. Bresnham got a ball to rise sharply and hit Taylor on the hand. And it has to be said Yorkshire struggled for a breakthrough, with both batsmen finding the middle of the bat. Well, Notts closed a second innings on 102 for 2, Lum 43 not out, Taylor 27, an overall lead of 60.